Hi, oh, no. Hang on, I'm far too jolly and happy. I need to calm down. Because I'm going to be teaching you some history of art. Put on my serious face. That's it. And we're going to do some serious learning. So we've been looking at how artists show movement in their paintings, haven't we? Thinking about the chariot race with the horses galloping and things like that. Yes, we did some work on that all last term. So movement is in running or galloping horses and things. But also, movement has a different meaning in art. It means how art is sort of split up into different times, just like history is split up. So I've done here a history of Britain timeline for you to help explain. Here we are, about 1 million years ago, with the old Stone Age beginning in Britain. We're using stone axes and had cave art, and we were hunter-gatherers. That meant we moved around, we didn't stay in one place. And then we moved on to the New Stone Age, which was about 4000 BCE or BC, and we were still using stone axes and things, but we started planting things, we started having settlements. And then 2500 years BC, we had the change again when we went to the Bronze Age, where we had copper and bronze tools, we had clay pots, and we had weaving, so different technologies. Then we moved on to the era of the Celts with the Iron Age. We had very beautiful decorative work now, things like mirrors, and we had swords and cooking pots and knives, all made out of the much tougher material of iron. And we were established as farmers by them. And then we moved on again in history to 43 AD, or Common Era as it's also called, after the year 0, 43 Common Era. We have the Roman invasion of Britain. And that's a timeline, the history of Britain timeline. And it's blocked off into different eras: Stone Age, New Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, and Romans. Okay, is that clear? It's very similar in art. So let me show you how we have these different changes in art as well. Okay, here we are. I've done you an art timeline in Britain. This is a British art timeline. So we've got the same idea. We've got time along the bottom here. You can see there. And we go to now. This is now. And then this is further and further into the past. And we're not going as far back as the Romans and things. We're talking about the 17th century here. And we're talking about a time of art which was about classical art. And it's about ancient things like Rome and the Greeks. And it's about looking backwards at grandness. Then we move on, about 50 or so years later, to modern art. And this idea that we shouldn't be just doing the past and made up things. We should be looking at real life. Life in all its richness, sometimes horrible, sometimes beautiful. Things like war were happening. We should show those things in our art, not just showing the past, but actually what was real, and showing real people and real events, beautiful things and difficult things. So that was modern art. We then moved on again to postmodernism. I don't like this era. It's kind of going meh, well, modernism doesn't work, boo-hoo, let's just forget about that. But we'll forget about that for now. We're now looking at contemporary art, which is now or the recent past. And this was going on, well, from about my age, really, it started. So from the time I was born, a little baby, about 50 years ago nearly. That's what we call it, the recent past, or going on right now, contemporary. Now let's think about all the art we've been looking at. Remember our chariot race by Alexander von Wagner? That goes into the classical art movement. Okay, then we're going to be looking at a new piece today called The Marching Men by C.R.W. Nevinson. That was painted in 1916 during World War I. Then we're moving on to contemporary art. Oh, there you go. Art is split up into movements, like history is split up into eras. And we have here a classic piece, The Chariot Race. Then we have a modern piece, which is The Marching Men by C.R.W. Nevinson, painted during World War I. We can see there. And then we have more contemporary art, which, as I say, we'll be looking at more tomorrow and in our next lesson. Let's look now at the Marching Men by C.R.W. Nevinson and look at the way that he showed movement, because this is what we're going to be doing in our lesson today. Let's start by looking at the ground. Do you remember those track lines in the chariot race? Well, there's something similar going on here, those lines in the ground. And look at those men's feet. The men's feet, they're marching. We're getting them in a sense of a blur. It's almost like a cartoon. He's not trying to make it look real. He's trying to get that sense of movement. And then in the sky, you've got these slashes, these lines in a diagonal. It's showing the men moving forward, a great force of men marching towards the trenches. So there we have it. We're going to be working on the Marching Men today. I'll see you later. Enjoy your artwork for today and enjoy capturing the movement in The Marching Men by C.R.W. Nevinson.